Alright, this is my review of the water conservation articles. First article we're going to look at is called California Orders Nestle to Stop Siphoning Spring Water. It was published by High Country News on April 28th, 2021. The main point of this article is just stating the news, which is that Nestle California has been stealing water from the general public in order to supply their various food products. And recently, California is beginning to finally take action on this by trying to limit how much Nestle can use. And keep in mind, this is amid one of the worst droughts in history in the area. So Nestle claims that it has the right to this water, and it claims that there are actually documents going back to 1899 that says that they're allowed to take the water. However, many people are disputing this. Actually, an investigation was launched into Nestle's practices and showed that even if they do have claims to the water, they're using much more than they should be. In 2017, the company was officially allotted 2.3 million gallons of water per year. However, they were found to be pumping as much as 58 million for their various food products. That's about 25 times as much they have a right to. Meanwhile, California and all the Southwest is facing extreme drought and water shortages. Supplies in wells and agriculture and in people's homes are literally drying up, and the infrastructure is beginning to rust and crumble away, so they cannot afford to keep letting Nestle off the hook. I think that it is pretty terrible what Nestle is doing. I think that stealing water from the residents of California is pretty much should be considered criminal, especially during a drought. The fact that the state lets them get away with it, I think that they need to take much harsher action. Water should be more strictly regulated and better controlled by the government because it just costs too much money and lives. This relates to the fourth law of ecology, which is that there's no such thing as a free lunch. Nestle's taking all this water and they're failing to resupply it, which is contributing to droughts in the area. And I'm just wondering some strategies that we can take to keep this from happening in the future. The second article is called Coke and Pepsi Make Millions from Bottling Tap Water. It's published in Consumer Reports on July 10th, 2020. The main thesis, well, as we can see, it's not just the Nestle company that's stealing water. The Coke and Pepsi companies are also taking water, specifically from the residents of the Detroit area as well as the Phoenix area, so even our area. And because of this, some residents are having their water shut off during the pandemic. If you look here, it's very obvious. Those are freshwater lakes, so the area has a very large supply of water. Despite that, during the pandemic, homes and businesses were without basic goods, and that includes water. So that's a very strange thing because it has an abundant water supply, but somehow all the water is disappearing. Because of people's water disappearing, they're forced to buy bottled water, which costs often twice as much as tap water. And as we find, the real reason that people's tap water is being shut off is so that Coca-Cola and Pepsi can use the water for their factories and for other things, and to sell it back to people. It's pretty strange, the practice of bottling tap water. If you think about it, a company is literally taking the water that you get out of your sink and they're selling it back to you. This is a very bizarre practice, and it's mostly specific to this country. It doesn't happen in a lot of countries. To me, it's just very striking, the practices that companies do, taking the commons and repackaging it back for profit. I think it should be illegal to take the water and sell it back to people. I think this has to do with the third law of ecology that says that nature knows best. I think people should have public access to spring water. And I think we need to fundamentally change the way that basic resources like water are distributed in America. Alright, thank you for watching.